welcome back to my YouTube. I hope you've had a lovely April and I hope you have a lovely May. Hope you've done lots of reading. This is just going to be another big video, but this is going to be like what I read in April, a bit of an April reading wrap up. I read a few books. I think I read 6, 7. I'm really struggling to count. Yeah, I think I read 6 books. Maybe I'm lying, maybe I read more, I don't know. But yeah, I read some really good ones that I want to recommend. There's a few 5 stars in here, which I think I'm quite harsh with my ratings. So I feel like if something gets 5 stars, it must be really good. But I'm going to start with Exciting Times by Noise Dolan, Nisha Dolan. I don't really know how to say that name, but I love this book. This is the most recent book I have read and I really liked it. I think this is like contemporary fiction, that kind of genre. I'm not the best with knowing genres, but I think that's what this would fall into. It's kind of like a Sally Rooney style fiction. It's very realistic. And yeah, I really liked it. The main themes are kind of like relationships, friendships, sexuality. She moves away. It's a really good book. I feel like it covers a lot, talks a lot about feelings, and I don't know, it's like not everybody moves from Ireland to Hong Kong and moves in with somebody they barely know. But a lot of people can relate to this girl's feelings. It's about Ava. She's from Dublin. She moves to Hong Kong. She meets an older guy. She moves in with him and then she meets somebody else. And there's a lot going on. But I don't want to spoil it because I really think you should read this. It was really good. And yeah, I think it did have that same Sally Rooney feel. One of the reviews I heard said that, and I would agree with that because I really like Sally Rooney's writing style. And I think this author is quite similar, but obviously unique in its own way. It made me cry. Like, it actually made me cry, which books don't usually make me cry. So yeah, I think that's enough to say. Not that it's like a sad book, but very emotional. Then I read Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Again, I'm not very good at my pronunciation, but The Silent Patient is about Alicia Berenson, who shoots her husband 6 times in the head and hasn't spoke to anybody since. And this book flips between the therapist's relationship with Alicia, trying to get her to open up, and it's almost like his work life. And it also shows his like personal life, so I feel like it's like a flip between his like work-life balance, which is interesting because I feel like Alicia's the main character, but also Theo the therapist is, because like the book's about him. And you get, I want to say it's all from his perspective. Yeah, I think he narrates it. I could be wrong, but we definitely get like a deep insight to like his personality and his thoughts. And this book is, I think it's a psychological thriller. It really gets into your head, like it really messes you up. And the ending is, this is a bold statement, but I'd say it is the best book ending I have ever read. I loved the ending of this book. It was amazing. It was a bit similar to, not similar, but another book that I really liked the ending of was Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owen, I think. Yeah, I'd say Where the Crawdads Sing has a similar effect. The ending, it's really good. I would read this for the ending. If that's something that can keep you gripped, then I would give this a read. I would say it's page turning enough without, like, I don't know, like holding off till the end. Like, it's great. There's lots of twists and turns, and this guy is really smart. I'm really excited to read his newer book, The Maidens. I believe that's what it's called. But yeah, I would say this is 5 out of 5, another one, which is crazy. Then I read a non-fiction for a change, because I'm trying to read 1 or 2 non-fictions a month, just because I do sway towards fiction. I don't know, I feel like our lives are so serious and real and we're always consuming so much information that it's nice to just, I feel like I read for escapism. Like, you know, some people watch movies, that's like what reading is for me. So it's like the same as most people would gravitate towards a movie over a documentary, and that's how I think of fiction and non-fiction. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a documentary sometimes, and like this book great, but most of the time I'd rather choose a movie or a fiction. But that was a weird metaphor and that probably did not make much sense, but it's by Stephen Bartlett, and the main reason I read this is because I listened to his podcast, Diary of a CEO, and I love him. I follow him on Instagram. He's a great guy, and this book is Happy Sexy Millionaire, and the subtitle is Unexpected Truths About Fulfillment, Love and Success. And I think that nails it on the head. He's a very successful man, and I don't know, I feel like he carries lots of experiences with him. He really struggled when he was younger with money, getting a job, motivation. I think he dropped out of uni, stuff like that. And he obviously felt really low at that point. And I think that he thought that success for him and like achieving happiness would come through money. And he, long story short, says that that's not the case and that money isn't what makes you happy. So yeah, this is a really interesting read. It's quite inspiring. I really liked it. I would give this like a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. It's very informal, which makes it like, I don't know, less daunting than like the typical non-fiction. It was really good. I really liked it. And I would also recommend listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast because it's good too. Then I read Lucy Foley's The Paris Apartment, and I read this whilst I was in Paris, which just felt so lovely. But yeah, I love Lucy Foley. This book is written in the same way as the guest list is, so each chapter is written from a different perspective, like between the main characters, which I really liked. I'd say the main character in this book though is probably Jess. So Jess is going to Paris to stay with her brother. Her brother Ben lives in a Paris apartment, and when she goes, he's missing. This isn't a spoiler, like you find that out from the get-go. So yeah, I'd say this book is basically her trying to find her brother. She finds out stuff about the apartment building that he's staying in. Yeah, she finds out a lot. There's lots of twists and turns. You find out things about like good characters that make them bad and like bad characters that make them good. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And the ending, again, I've been reading some really good books. The ending's spot on, it's really good. I really liked it. I really like Lucy Foley. I think she has a third book, The Hunting Party, which is on my to be read. I really want to read that because between this and the guest list, she is great. I'd say this is my only book this month that I didn't love. It's Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. It's a #1 Sunday Times bestseller. I've heard so many people speaking about it. I've seen this cover everywhere, in bookshops, on people's Instagram stories, but I don't love it, if I'm honest. So Clara is an artificial friend, and I don't know, I don't think the plot was that like realistic for me. Yeah, I didn't really love it. I thought it was quite a slow read. I struggled to get into it. Yeah, I was kind of sad and underwhelmed, if I'm honest. I do still want to read Never Let Me Go because I've heard that's good, but I don't know, after reading this, I'm just not too sure, which is kind of sad. I don't know, I just don't think it resonated with me very well. I didn't really like the characters. I think I struggled to relate to them. There was one character I liked, Rick, but other than that, the rest of them were kind of annoying. I don't want to give any spoilers, but this wouldn't be one I'd recommend anyway. I would give it like a 2 out of 5, which feels harsh, but I would go lower. On a happier note, I read The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This is great. It does what it says on the book. It told me that you will assume you know the motives, the history, the anatomy of the relationships, and you will be wrong. And that's very true. This isn't what I expected at all. Even whilst I was reading the book, there was things I was expecting to happen, and I almost felt like the narrative was something that you later find out that it isn't. It's amazing, very gripping, so many twists and turns. It's great. So this is set in New York, which I liked, and it follows Vanessa, who has just separated from her ex-husband Richard. Richard now has this younger wife, Emma, and it's basically Vanessa after the divorce, and you see what she's up to. We get an insight into her relationship while she was with Richard, which I think is interesting. You see how they got together, how the relationship fell apart. Like, none of this is spoilers either. Like, you find out they're divorced from like the first page. But yeah, I really liked this. It was like a thriller as well. It was great. There's a lot going on, and I think, yeah, I would definitely read this. I would say maybe Google trigger warnings, because there are some like hard topics in this, and I wouldn't want to recommend something then upset somebody. So I would maybe do that. I think the other ones you should be fine. Yeah, I'd say this is like the main one that I would maybe get a trigger warning for. And then the last book I read is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I don't know why my voice is so like croaky now. I think I'm just tired. But this is a memoir, and she published this in 2018, and I've heard nothing about it for the last 3 years. But I read her novel Ghosts, which I think she released after this. I read that at the start of the year, loved it, and now I'm hearing everything about this, and it's like in bestseller sections in the bookshops and stuff. I can't remember where I got this, but it's doing good. It's a Sunday Times bestseller, and it's great. It says everything I know about, and it says parties, dates, friends, jobs, life, and then love. But like it scribbles out the other ones. But I think it's good she kept that in, because she does discuss all of those topics. Like she speaks a lot about like platonic relationships, platonic love, jobs, careers, uni. She speaks about everything. She even speaks about grief, like mental health. It's about eating disorders. Like she covers a lot of topics in this, and it's amazing. It's a really good book. I'd say memoirs are quite good if you're transitioning from only reading fiction books into non-fictions, because it's like somebody's story. I don't think it's that dissimilar to reading about a fictional character's story to reading about somebody you don't know's story. I really liked it, and I really liked Dolly Alderton as a person after reading this actually. I chosen a page to read just as a wee insight into what this book's like, because I don't know, I feel like you need to hear her writing, because she's great. So one night, having spent a few days in peaceful solitude with my thoughts, I walked under the stars and along the cobbled streets, and an idea crept all over me, like arresting, vibrant blooms of wisteria. I don't need a dazzling, charismatic musician to write a line about me in a song. I don't need a guru to tell me things about myself I think I don't know. I don't need to cut all my hair off because a boy told me it would suit me. I don't need to change my shape to make myself worthy of someone's love. I don't need any words or looks or comments from a man to believe I'm visible, to believe I'm here. I don't need to run away from discomfort and into a male eyeline. That's not where I come alive. Because I'm enough. My heart is enough. The stories and the sentences twisting around my mind are enough. I am fizzing and frothing and buzzing and exploding. I'm bubbling over and burning up. My early morning walks and my late night baths are enough. My loud laugh at the pub is enough. My piercing whistle, my singing in the shower, my double jointed toes are enough. I am a just pulled pint with a good frothy head on it. I am my own universe, a galaxy, a solar system. I am the warm-up act, the main event, and the backing singers. And if this is it, if this is all there is, just me and the trees and the sky and the seas, I know now that that's enough. I am enough. And that's what I mean, like this is everything I know about love, but it's not just about romantic love and romantic relationships. She speaks a lot about self-love, and she ends the book by saying, sorry if this is a spoiler, maybe click off, but I don't think it is. She ends the book by saying that she's not in a relationship or in love. She's never had a long-term relationship, but she's fine with that. Like, that's fine. And I feel like, I don't know, I kind of went into this thinking it would be like as in like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo kind of thing. Like there's like it's basically like a romance story. That's kind of what I was expecting it to be like. Oh, I was with this person, then this person, then this person, but finally I met the love of my life. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was expecting, and I was wrong, because it's not like that at all. It's great, and I loved it, like really loved it. Like that was just one short quote. My camera roll is full of pictures of quotes from this book, because like I just open up a random page. I really hope I get a good one. Okay, so do you think I'll ever feel settled to someone? I asked her as we hopped over logs in Hampstead Heath's woods. Of course I do, you just haven't met the right man. Yes, but that's the thing. I don't think it's about the right man at all. I think it's about me. I think the men are sort of immaterial until I sort all this out. I gestured at myself with exhaustion like I was a teenager's messy bedroom. Like, that's really good. She's saying that it doesn't matter about meeting the right man if you're not ready for it. Like, that's what I mean. Self-love, work on yourself first. Like, I actually, now I'm looking back on this, I think a lot of this book is about looking after yourself. So yeah, 5-star. She was great. This has been a really good reading month. I'm excited for May though. I've got some good new books. I bought some when I was away. I think I really like making reading videos. I find them fun to watch, and I feel like, I don't know, I really like making them because it makes me so much more motivated to read more and, I don't know, actually think about the books I'm reading, because it's so easy to just skim through a book and not like remember it. But I feel like I'm actively like, I don't know, like taking away things from my books, which is quite nice. I feel like that's the whole point of it. But yeah, if you like reading videos, please let me know, because I'm happy to make lots more of them. And thank you for watching and listening to me talk about books, because I don't know if it's kind of boring. I like watching them, but I'm not really doing anything, am I? I'm literally just sitting here telling you my thoughts. And I'm not like a book critic, so my thoughts aren't really that valuable. I just saw a seagull fly past my window. But yeah, thank you for watching. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a lovely day. Hope you're having a Sunday roast, and I will speak to you next week.